the Little Miami School District Board of Education to order. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Grice,
Here.
Mr. Siebert, Mr. Siebert,
He's here.
I see him. I don't know if he's muted.
Wait.
Wayne, can you hear me?
I'm here. I can hardly hear you, though.
Okay. Can everyone else hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Hamlin?
Here, but your microphone might be a little bit quiet.
I don't know what's going on here.
Turn your volume up, maybe.
Well, I wonder if it's this piece behind me that's.
I can hear you well.
It's a little, you're a little quiet, Terry.
Let me turn off this other speaker. Hold on.
You hear me now?
No, wait a minute here. I'm in a different setup than I usually am.
You're a little bit better now.
Better.
I can't hear anything now. Hold on here. Oh, why can't I hear anything? That was a question. Is everyone there?
We're here. Can
Yep.
you hear me?
We're here.
Hello?
We can hear you.
I have no sound.
We can hear you.
All right, we're going back to the other one. Can you hear me?
Yes.
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 All right, we're gonna stick with that speaker. For some reason, that's the only one I'm getting to work. I'll try to speak up. All right, Mr. Nemish? Here. Ms. Horvath?
Here.
Thank you.
I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Wayne,
I'll second.
Diane, roll call, please.
Mr. Siebert?
Wayne,
Mr. Siebert?
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Ms. Horvath?
Yes.
Grice?
yes.
Thank you.
I need a motion to accept the reading of the minutes as listed.
I'll move.
Tony,
I'll second.
Martin, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hamlin?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Ms. Horvath?
Yes.
Ms. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Siebert?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we have communications and visitors to the board. Do we have any presentations?
And most of my detail will be coming with specific agenda
Okay.
items later on in the agenda.
All right. Treasurer's reports and financial reports.
All right, yes, under item C, number one, I ask for the board's approval of the month end June 2020, which is the end of the fiscal school year.
I need a motion, please.
I'll move.
Tony,
Second.
Wayne, any discussion?
That includes the monthly bank reconciliation, which includes the bond proceeds or investments for the construction. Also includes all listing of all different individual funds, two budgetary reports, a revenue report. I believe that's it.
No questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Nemish,
Yes.
Ms. Horvath,
Yes.
Ms. Grice,
Yes.
Mr. Siebert,
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin.
Yes.
Thank you. And then next, under item number two, I ask for the board's approval of the resolution to proceed for the levy in November's ballot.
Need a motion, please.
I'll
I'll
move.
move.
Okay, Tony, and seconded by Martin. Any discussion?
Yeah, this is our second resolution to be passed as a resolution to proceed. This is the exact same levy we've had. It's a 5-year period emergency operating levy. No tax increase, the exact same amount and levy that we've had for the last decade, actually. And once the board does approve this, if so, we will file these resolutions with the Board of Elections.
Any questions?
Terry, I saw that this will be collected at 9.92 mils as opposed to the original, correct?
That is correct. We originally started a decade ago of almost 14 mils, 13.95, and we're down below 10. Collects the same exact dollar amount though, the approximately 10.6 million.
Right.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments?
So Terry, what would that mean for an individual resident in the district? What does that difference mean to them?
As far as the difference between where it was then and now,
Correct.
well, if you say roughly 4 mils in difference, you're going to be around $30 a mil, so about $100 per mil.
Less.
Less.
Okay.
Not more, less. Mhm.
Yes.
So yes, essentially the same pie, the 10.6 million has been there the whole time. We're just cutting it up. Everyone's paying a little bit less, still generating the 10.6 million because of increases in valuation and so on for real estate.
So if this passes, is it correct to say the impact is people's taxes will be reduced?
Well, right now it's at 992. It's going to be at 992 again. So it would be pretty much the same. It could go down a little bit depending on where the valuation comes back from the county auditor. But in theory, yes, every year that the valuation, everything keeps going up, everyone's taxes will go down just a little bit because their piece of the pie gets a little bit smaller, if that makes sense. So in 5 years from now, when you go for another renewal, hopefully the 992, depending on real estate and all that, but if it goes and keeps growing, you could be down to say maybe 8 mils or something.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And we do need this levy.
Absolutely. It's crucial for the districts. It makes up about a quarter of our operating budget. Just a hair less. So very,
All right.
very crucial for the district.
It is. I would like a roll call, please.
Ms. Horvath,
Yes.
Ms. Grice,
Yes.
Mr. Siebert,
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin,
Yes.
Mr. Nemish.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, I have under item number C3, ask for the board's approval of the contracts as listed.
Need a motion, please?
I'll move.
Martin, thank you.
I'll second.
Diane, thank you. Any discussion?
Yeah, the two contracts we have listed on there, one is Toddler Time, which is Time for Kids, which is our latchkey program. That is actually does not cost the district any money. We actually generate revenue from that. It does vary based on the number of kids in the program. And then the second contract is through Jefferson County ESC. This is our VLA, our Virtual Learning Academy. This is our online classes for this coming school year.
Which we definitely need.
Mhm.
All right. I need a roll call, please.
Mrs. Grice,
Yes.
Mr. Siebert,
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin,
Yes.
Mr. Nemish,
Yes.
Ms. Horvath.
Yes.
Thank you. I believe that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, moving on to superintendent's reports and recommendations.
Yes, thank you. I ask the board's approval for all personnel items listed under number 1.
Need a motion.
So moved.
Wayne,
I'll second.
Tony, any discussion? No. Roll call, please.
Mr. Siebert,
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin,
Yes.
Mr. Nemish,
Yes.
Ms. Horvath,
Yes.
Ms. Grice.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And ask the board's approval for number 2 on the agenda, emergency board policy update for policy EBEA face coverings.
Need a motion.
I'll
I'll
move.
move.
All right, Diane and Tony. Diane first, Tony second.
All right.
Discussion?
Yes, this is a new policy that's required with our reopening and with our COVID-19 circumstance. All districts are required to have a face covering policy. This policy will require all students and staff to have a face covering. Face coverings include not only a mask, but also plastic shields, as well as gaiters. So those are all acceptable face coverings. As you'll see, as you know, in our reopening plan on the transportation side, students riding the bus are required to have a face covering on the bus, as well as in the classroom, in the halls. All staff and students are to do that, and all staff are to have a face covering if they're within 6 feet social distance of any other student. So since we've all been back, that's been quite an adjustment. We've had some large staff meetings where we've had about 25 or 30 people in a room, and sitting in a room while you're in a meeting or for professional development for 3 or 4 hours while you're masked we can certainly empathize and sympathize with what our staff and kids are going to be going through in the classroom. We are going to incorporate mask or face covering breaks throughout the day as a part of our ongoing moving through the day process. There are provisions within this policy to, if we have students or staff who medically can't wear a face covering, obviously we would opt for a face shield, but there may be some circumstances due to health issues where a student or a staff member might not be able to do that. And there are provisions for documenting that and going through that process to permit that not to occur.
So tell me what you mean by a break, a face mask break.
Well, you're going to have to be located in a room where you're not getting up, moving around, and being in contact with anybody to be able to take your mask. At the younger grades, kids will probably be going out in line to recess or something, and then they'll be able to get spread out and remove their mask for a bit.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
Obviously, at lunchtime, there's going to be a break because they'll be in the cafeteria eating as well. So you can't do that if you have a face covering. So
Right.
I'm
All
going
right.
to state the obvious there.
Really? All right, we need a roll call, please.
Mr. Siebert,
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin,
Yes.
Mr. Nemeth,
Yes.
Ms. Horvath?
Yes.
Ms. Grice?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item I have are, these are the second readings for some board policies. Item number 3, I'd ask your approval for those updates as listed.
I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Wayne,
I'll second.
Martin, any discussion?
Yeah, these policies are actually, again, additional updates related to our current COVID-19 circumstance. A couple of these have to do with our OTES evaluation of teaching staff, and in the light of the legislature having waived the data side of the evaluation for this past year as well as for the coming year. And the others are actually updates on emergency paid sick leave that's leave tied to COVID and testing positive for COVID, or having a family circumstance where someone in the family is tested positive.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hamlin,
Yes.
Mr. Nemeth,
Yes.
Ms. Horvath,
Yes.
Ms. Grice,
Yes.
Mr. Siebert?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item, item 4, I'd ask the board's approval for a revised 2020-21 academic calendar.
I need a motion, please.
I'll move.
Tony,
I'll second.
Diane, any discussion, questions?
Yes, this is a revised calendar that pushed the start date for student return by a couple of days and added a couple of extra days into our professional development to help the staff prepare for returning with our reopening plan. We have some professional development around all of that, as well as some beginning of the year meetings with parents that we're also keeping in that plan. just changed the front end of the calendar by a couple of days. We have students in grades 5 through 12 beginning on Monday, August the 17th, and students in pre-K 4 beginning on Wednesday, August the 19th. Those are really the only changes to the from the other original calendar.
And this is subject to change eventually, maybe, right?
Yes, there's been some, coming out of Columbus and even some districts, there's been some buzz about perhaps someone telling us we can't start till after Labor Day. So that may be something that comes down the line in the next week or two, as when the governor holds his press conferences, we never know exactly what we're going to be informed with. We're not on the inside or in the know ahead of time.
Thank you. I need,
And if that happens, Greg, or if it comes from the governor, or if you and your staff decide that a start date after Labor Day is the best option for us to get back in school, that would just require us to make another calendar adjustment. Is that what it would be?
That's right. I already have prepped a post-Labor Day calendar in anticipation of that. I've got a couple of versions that I made, and they're ready to go with that event.
any other questions or comments? That's what I like about you, Mr. Power. You're always looking ahead. I need a roll call, please.
Mr. Nemish,
Yes.
Ms. Horvath,
yes,
Ms. Grice,
Yes.
Mr. Siebert,
yes,
Mr. Hamlin.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to ask the board's approval on item 5, our return to learn plan. This plan has been out in draft form for a couple of weeks. It's been on our website. It's the plan that is posted and linked up there. There's a district level plan, and then there's each building has a specific plan. And over the last few weeks, our administrative staff has been working on aligning their daily operational procedures to those draft plans. And we'd ask for your approval for that this evening. You'll note that when you look at the front page of that plan, there are some big bold red letters on it that say it's subject to change based on any guidance that we receive unsolicited most of the time from the state or a local health department.
Any comments, questions? There's a lot of work in there. I need a roll call, please.
Oh, we need a motion.
Oh,
Actually,
we didn't move. I'm sorry. I need a motion.
I'll move.
Martin,
second,
Wayne. Now I need a roll call.
Mr. Nemish,
Yes.
Ms. Horvath,
yes,
Ms. Grice,
Yes.
Mr. Siebert,
yes,
Mr. Hamlin.
Yes.
Thank you.
I need a
Thank-
motion. Okay.
Thank you. Item 6 is a remote learning plan. This is a plan that we framed after our remote learning experience that was sort of sprung on us in March of this past year after school closed. We've spent a lot of time this summer moving through our feedback from the feedback we got from teaching staff and parents and some students around their remote learning experience when we had to shift there overnight. And so what this plan does, it actually frames our day-to-day in-person operation and aligns it with what would happen if we go into a remote and learning framework. There are some bullets that I want to point out and emphasize both to parents and to staff. I've included the statewide health department alert color coding in this plan. There are 4 levels, and obviously the concerning level is level 3 and 4, where we go red or purple. And we've heard a lot of discussion and news articles about counties around Warren County being in the red, possibly going purple at points. In my county, Warren County Superintendent's Group, we've spent a fair amount of time having dialogue around what would happen if Warren County becomes red or if it becomes purple. I've framed some language here that pretty much gives us the flexibility to be able to go to a remote learning framework, either intermittently or for an extended period of time, if we determine within our school district itself that our attendance and with our kids and our staff is such, and the infection rate is such that we can't be open safely. There's also some indication there that the state could come and tell us that we need to be closed. The state or health department or even the local health department might make that strong recommendation or requirement. I think parents, as we look at what our challenge, one piece of data I would share is that last year at this time, we had 1,100 substitutes that were serving both Butler and Warren County in the area. We contract our substitutes through the Warren County Educational Service Center. And at this point, we have 400 substitutes. So we have had a drastic reduction, and it's understandable since many substitutes are retired educators. And they're in an age group that is more at risk if they become infected with COVID-19. So one of our challenges on a daily basis is going to be, do we have enough substitutes in a building to be able to safely open the building? Obviously, we're trying to spread our kids out as much as we can in our learning environments. And our other practice would have been to maybe divide kids up and send them to another class if we were short substitutes. And then we have internal subs where teachers would also use their planning bell to cover a class. That's not really an option when we're trying to reduce crowding and not trying to have our classrooms be crowded. So I will tell you that probably as we get into the school year, there were days where we needed 30 or 40 subs in the district last year, and that was before COVID. So there will likely be days where we have to close a building and move to a remote learning opportunity at home for the students who can't attend in that building because we can't safely open it due to staffing challenges. There might be days where multiple buildings might be closed or the entire district might be closed. So parents should prepare for that. It's not snow. We typically get an alert when there's bad weather coming in, and you can kind of prepare yourself the night before. So we're in the process of really trying to put a daily procedural review to make sure that we aren't in a circumstance where it's not possible to open the building because we can't staff it. So that's the front end of the intro to the remote plan. Our effort on the remote plan was to try to align what happens on a daily basis in our classroom when we're in seat attendance so that it mirrors where you go get your work, how you turn your work in, how assignments are gotten, the interaction and engagement with teaching staff as closely as possible when we have to be in a remote setting. And there could be a possibility that if we go into red, that we would end up in an every other day, A/B day kind of attendance with only half of the students attending. If there would be a need to become more socially distant in our learning spaces, or if the state or the health department indicates that we must go to full 6-foot social distance in our classrooms. The only way we could achieve that would be to reduce our capacity in half. And I think there have been some plans out there where students have attended on alternate days that people are aware of. And we would look at implementing that kind of a plan were that to become necessary. Obviously, if we're purple, it's a good bet that we're going to be in a remote learning circumstance.
All right, I need a motion, please.
I'll move.
Martin, thank you.
I'll second.
Diane, thank you. Any discussion, questions, comments? It's taken quite a bit of work to figure this out. So,
And
you
we will continue to work to figure it out because as it seems with everything, every day, things change. That's the only guarantee.
true. All right, roll call, please.
Ms. Horvath,
Yes.
Ms. Grice,
Yes.
Mr. Siebert,
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin,
Yes.
Mr. Nemish.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then just one last item that's not on the agenda. I just wanted to give a little update regarding our Virtual Learning Academy and the enrollment. We mailed hard copy letters and enrollment applications out to those parents who had indicated an interest in enrolling their child in the Virtual Learning Academy yesterday. And an email went out this morning, a mass email to any parent who had indicated this. We did hard copy mail in the event that emails had changed during the from the end of the school year to now yesterday. And we do have enrollment applications coming in at the central office with the $50 fee that started today, and those are due by this Friday. So just wanted to put that out as a piece of information. If you happen to be listening to this and you didn't indicate an interest, but you now have an interest, call the board office and we will email you a form and you can look at enrolling your child in the Virtual Learning Academy, full-time virtual learning.
And that $50 covers.
Well, we're providing a computer and it covers part of the licensing fee for the curriculum that the students will be using.
All right. Roll call, please.
That's not a vote. That's just, that
Oh,
was
that's
just
true.
information.
That's true. That's true. All right. Under new business, Warren County Career Center report. I really don't have one, but in case you're wondering, if you've seen the big hole that's being dug out there by the Career Center, that has to do with the geothermal energy that we're working on. And we also have some things on the roof. So just to answer any questions about that. And do we have anything from the legislative? No. Board, okay, the next thing is, the next board meeting is, when is it?
August 20.
Tuesday, August 25th at 7 o'clock.
Oh, I know, 7 o'clock, August the 25th. All right, any board member comments? All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Wayne
Second.
and Tony. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Grice,
Yes.
Mr. Siebert,
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin,
Yes.
Mr. Nemish,
Yes.
Ms. Horvath.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.